Okay, today we're going to install the Verus duct cooling for our brakes. So we'll go through this process. It's pretty simple, really. So the first thing we've got to do is take the calipers off and take the friction ring off here. So I need to replace those anyway, so perfect timing. So I'm going to go ahead and take my caliper off. I'm going to assume that you already know how to do that. So once that's done, we'll go on to the next step. All right, so again, we've got the caliper and rotor off. We've got to remove the hub and the brake shield. And back here we can see there's a bolt there. There's one there. There's one back here. And this middle one. These are going to be on real tight, so I'm using a nice size breaker bar for that to get those removed. And once we get that off, we should be able to put the new shield on. All right, so I've got those bolts loosened, one out. Here's my helper down here. So what I found the best way to do it is to rotate your wheel towards you this way, to the right, and then you can loosen and take one out and then rotate it to the left, and then you can get at the other one on the other side here. So there's one here that I've already removed. They are beasts. So that one went in right there. This one's loose, and right here, that one's loose too. So I'm gonna leave those connected right now while I loosen this center one and take that out. And then I'll take those other two out and be able to pull that hub right off. All right, I've got the hub assembly off. See that here? After I took that 10mm out of the backside, then I just popped this little sensor right out the back out of that right there. So that just, a little wiggling, just pops right out. I actually just left the bolts there since I'm just gonna put it right back on. So we're just gonna take this dust shield off and put this dust shield on. Okay, here I've got the backing plate on. So I just left 3 bolts in there and just put that on there like that. You can't really install it correctly incorrectly. If you put it on here like this would be the other one. The only way I could do it is like that, and it won't even fit. So you're okay. You cannot install it incorrectly. So get those 3 on there. And then just put the hub right back where it was, like that. Okay, I've got the 3 bolts back in place. They're not torqued down yet. Here's our plate with the inlet there. You can see everything there. So all we need to do now is torque these down 91 to 100 foot-pounds. So I put this at 94. There we go. And now I'm going to do that to the others as well. Next up, we're going to remove this front fender valance here, this interior. So I use these to pull those out. You can use a screwdriver, a real small screwdriver if you want, but you just stick that down in there. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so there you go. Get that in there, and then once you get it pulled apart like that, this bottom part releases and it'll just snap right out. So we're going to go around and pull them out of this fender here. And I'm going to try not going all the way down to the bottom. But if I have to, I have to. No big deal. I've had these off here 100 times. So just pull all these push pins out using a small screwdriver or a little spudger, whatever you want to call this thing. Upholstery clip remover is what it says on there. So that's our next step. Okay, I did take the whole thing off and just wanted to show you here that there are a couple of push pin holes. There's one here and one here. But the rest of these that you have to loosen, one there, and one there, and there's one. Let's see, there's another push pin hole back there. I think that's it. So we got that one. I think that's a screw, that's a screw, that's a screw, and that's a screw. And here those are. So you'll unscrew those. And these two push pins you leave alone because they're holding this deflector on. And now that we got that done, come around in here and unplug and take out the fog lamp, the LED lamp here. So we've got a couple of screws to unplug there and Verus electronics, and we'll be good to go there. Okay, I've got the LED out. A few ends here, this one here that had to be disconnected. And then there's a connector that actually holds it to the LED plate, and there's one off the blinker here too. It's easiest just to unscrew them all, and then after you get it off, detach these. That's the easiest way instead of trying to detach them beforehand. The other thing I had to do is remove my horn, because my horn goes right here, and that is going to get in the way. See here, get this in here. That's going to get in the way of this, which goes right there. So I'll just have to look at that and maybe put it on sideways. Once I get it on there, we'll see if I can figure out another way to do it, and if not, we'll just leave it off. No big deal. All right, let's get to it. All right, I've got my duct installed here, and I've got the duct on with its clamp, and then they have a couple different routing methods. I'm going to route what they call the low style, which I think gives better protection for the wheel to the ductwork. So it's going to come around this backside in between this and the shock, and then up to the back of the plate, and then that'll be zip tied to there, and I'm going to have to run or cut a hole in my inner liner so that that'll go through there, but should be pretty straightforward, pretty easy. All right, I've got the everything installed here and finished up, so we're attached to the back of the backing plate, and we go down here through that, and then let me crawl down here. I've attached a zip tie that they supply to the bottom through this hole here, and then wrap up around it at the curve, and then cut an X in my liner, fender liner, and just fed this through there, and that ought to do it. And there's enough flex here so that I'm at worst position right now, which is pulling it the tightest it possibly could, and it's all good. I pulled more through, but then when you turn the wheel to the left, it just pushes it back through the zip tie. So it'll figure itself out, I think, here. So we'll leave it like that, and then I'll just check it next time I make a run and see how everything is. But that looks like all said and done.